Um, can you share a time where you feel like art, your poetry has saved you? And whatever interpretation you want to take that has saved you as an artist.
Oh shit. Wow. 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 So I don't tell this story often. Um, when I was high school age, and a friend of mine had committed suicide. And, of course, I'm trying to write my way through it, just trying to process. I'm somebody where I've been surrounded by death a lot, like in my life. It's very, whether directly or indirectly, there's always been a lot of death around me in some capacity. Um, and so as I'm trying to write, I'm processing and whoop-de-woo. And there used to be an open mic at the Boulevard, at the Magic Johnson, the Boulevard. And they used to do an open mic there. And so I'm there and I do a poem, I do the poem that I literally wrote that day. And there's this lady and her little son that's like all the way in the back. And I see them and I also see like this lady crying. And so at the end of it, I'm kind of out of it. So I kind of walk out of the space, to the outside. And then here comes this lady with her son. First the son comes up and, he looks maybe 8 years old and he's like, "Oh man, brother, thank you so much. This was like, wow, that poem for your friend. You are such a good friend for even have written that about, for have written that. And your friend was also amazing too. That's so awesome. Whoopty whoopty whoop." And I'm looking at this little kid like, all right, little nigga, like, all right, cool, thanks. I appreciate it, but I'm not really trying to do all that. And then his mom comes and she goes, "Can I talk to you for a little bit?" I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And she goes, like, that poem really touched me and saved my life tonight. And I'm like, "What do you mean, ma'am?" And she goes, "Well, I was actually going to drop my son off at my sister's house and go and kill myself today." And that shit, it fucking rocked me, and she was just so thankful. And she's like, you gave me another reason to like keep going. And I stayed with that. That stayed with me. And so every time, I write, whether it's a poem or script or something like that, I think a lot about how writing has just really been such a space of refuge for me in its totality. I can't give you just one space when all of it has been a place of refuge for me. And where I've come to really, I tell people all the time, if you really want to know me, read my work. Like, you'll know me in my work way more than you'll know, like, just from like speaking to me. And and how, yeah, like, that then informed me to then in continuing in this path and being honest with my work. And I think that's where really poetry has saved me. Poetry has saved me because it has forced me to continue to be as honest as possible in my work. Because every time I was dishonest in the work never hit. The work never went anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And so like, but it's really, really forced me to be as honest, always be honest in your writing and in your work, and retain that authenticity and that genuineness through that honesty. And everything else will fall in place as needed. And that's, I saw somebody say, writing and words can be very therapeutic, right? It's not therapy. I tell people all the time, if you have access to therapy and you can get therapy, go get some motherfucking therapy. There's nothing like actually that shit. But writing in the space of writing can be therapeutic, right? It can be therapeutic. And so, I hope that answers the question. For like,
it does. I mean, the answer is in its own, to each his own. But I feel like that really hits home. And thank you for sharing that. Like, I'm even as I'm looking in the comments, I'm seeing like, wow, exhale, like that was a very brave thing for you to share. So thank you.